The small community of Barron continues to be in the national spotlight after a teenager missing for months is found safe. And protesters on both sides of the gun debate head to the Capitol Square today, while both sides say they just want to be heard.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for watching News 3 at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. The world continues to watch developments in northern Wisconsin, where 13-year-old Jamie Kloss is home safe tonight after going missing in October when her parents were found shot to death in their home in Barron. We're learning more today about the investigation into Jake Patterson, the 21-year-old accused of killing her parents and kidnapping her. This is aerial video showing the home where Patterson allegedly held Jamie against her will. In an interview today with CNN, Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald says they're trying to figure out what his routine was during the last 3 months. He also says they don't believe she was ever taken across state lines, but Jamie was targeted. They just don't know why.
It was a random act by the suspect, but it was a very well planned out attack on the Kloss home. There's no evidence that we can uncover that the suspect knew the Klosses, was at the Kloss home, had any contact with them, worked with them, sent emails to them, Facebook. There doesn't seem to be any connection between Mr. Patterson and the Kloss family at all.
New reports say that detectives are now looking at the criminal history of Patterson's brother, 24-year-old Eric Patterson. He's a convicted sex offender and at one time lived in the same home in Gordon where Jamie escaped. Right now, Sheriff Fitzgerald says investigators are still on scene in Gordon and bringing back evidence to Barron and the crime lab in Madison. He says the randomness of the incident is what's been tough about this case.
We were always looking for a connection. Somebody was connected to the Kloss family. It had to be somebody they worked with. It had to be a family member. It had to be a friend. It had to be a just Facebook stalker or something like that. And I think this was truly a random act that was well planned out. And when you take those two, they don't mix. We thought about that last night. I'm like, that random act is really what we struggled with on this case.
Last night was Jamie's first night with her family since being released from a Duluth hospital. Her aunt, Jennifer Smith, posted on Facebook this morning that she had, quote, a pretty good night's sleep. She says as a family, they will get through the long healing process Jamie has ahead. She also added that her sister and brother-in-law can rest peacefully now that Jamie is safe. She also shared these new photos of her first morning with Jamie, waking up in her own bed, resting with her dogs. Smith says it felt great to know Jamie was finally next to her all night. Support for Jamie continues to stack up around the world. In less than 24 hours, a Facebook fundraiser surpassed its $50,000 goal. The goal was initially set for $10,000, but with so many donations, it was moved up to $50,000. If you would still like to help, you can donate by contacting any branch of Sterling Bank of Wisconsin and ask to donate to the Kloss Family Benefit Fund. There's also a GoFundMe link on our website. An international advocate for missing persons was also abducted at age 13 by an older man. She now has some advice for how the community can help Jamie Kloss heal. We spoke with Alicia Kosakevich on Skype. Since her rescue in 2002, she's inspired legislative changes across the state, including in Wisconsin, to fund task forces that help protect children. To help Jamie during this time, Kosakevich asked the public give her the privacy and positivity she didn't always get when she came home. She also has this message for Jamie.
Don't let this define you. Right now, it seems like this is all that you are, and this is all that people know you as. This is not who you are. This is just something that happened to you. You are still the amazing, incredible girl that you were before this happened.
A Wisconsin Department of Justice K-9 named Kozak in Kosakevich honor helped in the search for Jamie. All right, let's turn it over to Dave Caulfield with a look at your first alert forecast. I know that snow really just missed us.
Yeah, it was very, very close, razor thin in some spots, and for some of us across southern Wisconsin closer to the state line, we've been dealing with snow basically throughout the majority of the day. About a coating to 2 inches of snow being reported basically close to the state line, and most of us are done with that snow, but still it's hanging on across portions of Rock and Greene counties, at least for the next 30 minutes to an hour. And then I think it finally starts to get out of here. Current conditions in Madison, where we saw maybe a few flakes, and that's it today. 29 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, northeast wind at 12 miles per hour, making it feel closer to 19. Temperatures in Watertown are also at 29 degrees, 28 in the Dells, 31 in Bosqueville, and 30 in Platteville. Wind speeds have picked up a little bit, but they're still calmer than they were earlier this afternoon. Out of the north and east at about 8 to 15 miles per hour, making it feel like 18 in the Dells, 19 in Platteville, still feeling like 24 though in Janesville. Now, your day planner for tomorrow, maybe a little bit of sunshine is possible, especially later in the afternoon. Highs will be in the low to mid 30s. And coming up in just a few minutes, we'll talk about some milder weather on the way and what the middle to end of this month may hold for snow lovers in your forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Dave. Madison police say no arrests were made during two protests that brought nearly 300 people to the Capitol. Adam Duxter has more about the groups involved and their message to others.
Well, Amanda, for the most part, things were peaceful between the Wisconsin Patriots Alliance and the United Against Fascism group. Today, the result of weeks of planning between both sides. Protest and counter-protest. As the Wisconsin Patriots Alliance joined to hold a rally on the steps of the Capitol, groups across the street made their voices heard.
Our vision here as human beings is different from their vision. And in fact, their vision is destructive, anti-people, anti-democratic.
United Against Fascism learned weeks ago about the plans to have a pro-Second Amendment rally at the Capitol. They say they quickly organized to refute the group's beliefs.
We believe in a future that involves people and not a future of division and hate. That we want to speak out against division and hate. And by coming here today, we hope people do that.
However, leaders from the Wisconsin Patriots Alliance say they were trying to promote a discussion between both sides.
We come together and work together because if we're for the same things, we're not against each other, obviously. I think we can agree on a lot of things, and I think the issues that we can't agree on, we should be able to have peaceful discourse.
Mayor Paul Soglin was also in attendance, showing support for the United Against Fascism.
I don't see any basis for conflict. What I do see is an opportunity for those of us who believe in justice, in equity, to spread that message of kindness and love, and to strengthen what America really stands for.
And while there were a handful of confrontations between the groups, both sides made it clear a fight is not what they want.
Shutting speech down and shutting down your opposition is not the way to a solution.
Official numbers from Madison Police Department show that there were about 300 participants total, with about 250 of those coming from the United Against Fascism side.
That group, United Against Fascism, says having Mayor Soglin in attendance and having his support was crucial. New at 10 tonight, Governor Tony Evers and First Lady Kathy Evers are welcoming Wisconsinites to the People's House. This was the first time the executive residence was open for tours since Evers took office. Hundreds of people walked through the grounds. Evers says they saw people from all over the state. Evers and Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes just got back from a talk in Wausau, and he says one of their main goals is getting a budget in place and going all over the state to share it with the people.
I was raised in a small town, so I understand how important rural Wisconsin is to our state's economy and our state's culture. And so we will, we're going to be representing all the people of Wisconsin.
Evers and Barnes plan to meet with the legislature on Tuesday to build relationships during the current session. President Trump is turning to social media in an effort to pressure Democrats into reaching a deal as the partial government shutdown reached a milestone today. Kenneth Craig has the latest from New York.
President Trump fired off a series of tweets Saturday as the partial government shutdown entered day 22, the longest in U.S. history. Mr. Trump tweeted, "Democrats could solve the shutdown in 15 minutes. Tell them to get it done. Humanitarian crisis." Congress has adjourned until next week, and so far Democrats have denied the president's request for more than $5 billion to fund a border wall.
We have a better idea about how to secure our border, to do so with technology and infrastructure that is smart.
The president has threatened to declare border security a national emergency.
But if we don't make a deal, I would say it would be very surprising to me that I would not declare a national emergency and just fund it.
A CBS News poll found that 47% of Americans say they blame President Trump for the partial government shutdown. 30% say they blame Democrats in Congress, and just 3% blame Republicans.
And the shutdown.
Caught in the middle are some 800,000 federal workers who did not receive paychecks Friday. Food banks are helping out by distributing emergency groceries to those furloughed or working without pay.
Not everyone makes the same amount of money, and a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck.
Mr. Trump says he will sign legislation from Congress that gives back pay to every federal worker affected by the shutdown. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
The Trump administration is considering a plan that would divert emergency funds from the Army Corps of Engineers to pay for border security. Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin was in Janesville today to commemorate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. With music, art, and ethnic food samples, the event is meant to remember the work of Dr. King, as well as celebrate Black history. At the event, Baldwin talked to News 3 about her thoughts on the government shutdown. Using a quote from Dr. King, she says it's time lawmakers in Washington came together and got back to work.
I think it's urgent that both the president and the Congress recognize that the time is right to do the right thing right now.
The theme of today's event was social change. Coming up, this special moment as 3 eagles are released back into the wild in Sauk City. That's when News 3 at 10 returns. Welcome back. Bald eagle populations across the country have been off of the endangered species list since 2007. But that doesn't mean that these creatures and other birds of prey don't need care sometimes. Today, 4 eagles were released after recovering from life-threatening injuries. Chris Lewinberg reports.
Hi.
As the crow flies, these eagles have had quite the journey.
To see the eagle come back has been a success story that is really gratifying.
And Marge Gibson has been their guide for a while.
A long time. All of my life, actually.
Helping these eagles soar gives her a similar feeling.
They're really incredible. And working with them is an incredible honor.
Gibson founded the Raptor Education Group, a nonprofit focused on rehabilitating birds of prey suffering from injuries like lead poisoning or emaciation and releasing them for all to see.
I think doing the public releases is really important because it allows people to see the birds up close and personal and to realize that, you know, they're not this horrid, you know, dangerous creature.
Reaching for the stars to teach us about these once endangered kings of the sky.
These animals were rehabbed back to health. They're getting their second chance of life, and seeing that eagle flying free again is just a magical moment.
For many, the opportunity to see an eagle up close is once in a lifetime.
It's our nation's symbol, and seeing that eagle up in the sky soaring again is just awesome.
The feeling it gives Gibson leaves her flying high.
You don't look into an eagle's eyes without realizing that there's so much behind them, the intelligence and that intensity.
I'm Chris Lewinberg, WISC News 3.
3 more eagles will be released in parade to SAC for Bald Eagle Watching Days next Saturday. An area organization held a bike donation drive today to benefit local children. Free Bikes for Kids had 6 drop-off locations open this morning in the Madison area. The organization aims to collect, refurbish, and give 2,500 bikes to area youth this year. Its mission is to make sure every kid who wants a bike has access to one.
If we're lucky enough to be able to remember getting our first bike, you know, there's a real sense of pride of ownership, freedom, and liberty that comes with owning a bike. It's just
Bikes collected today are slated to be given away on March 23rd and 24th. Since its founding in 2016, Free Bikes for Kids has given away 1,500 bikes in Madison. A mild winter isn't stopping preparations for a Wisconsin tradition. People with the Snowflake Ski Club are getting the jump ready for next month's Westby Ski Jump. Snowmakers and crews are starting to make snow on the hill. If all goes well, 25 skiers from around the world will take to the air on February 1st and 2nd. Well, we definitely do not have enough natural snow to just start skiing out there right now.
For most of Wisconsin, that is definitely true, Amanda. However, some of us along the state line did pick up about a coating to 2 inches of snow. That's according to reports on the internet over the last couple of hours. And most of us have seen any snow come to an end, but that's not the case for about 20 states that this low pressure system continues to affect in some way, shape, or form. Zooming in, we could see a lot of the coverage of that storm has left us. That snow has been stubborn, though, for some of us, especially across portions of Rock and Greene counties throughout the day, specifically close to Beloit. We were seeing some moderate to heavy snow within the last few hours, but it looks like on Doppler track that anything that is showing up, I doubt is hitting the ground because it is of the lighter variety. But look for that to continue to move to the south over the next 30 minutes to an hour or so. Our time lapse in Platteville, we did see some periods of some light snow throughout the day, getting a coating of snow on the Queen Bee Radio Skycam there. And in Platteville right now, maybe some flakes flying, but of the flurry variety, not really anything that we need to concern ourselves with. However, if you are heading south tonight into tomorrow morning, there still may be some slick spots, especially into Illinois and places that got a lot more snow than we did over the past 24 hours. Speaking of a lot of snow, the complete opposite. In Madison this winter, once again, we're off to a slow start to the snow season. Less than 10 inches of snow where we should be about 22 and a half, so that's more than a foot behind schedule. Last year, year, though, was even worse at this time. Barely, not even, in fact, 5 inches of snow. But we can see, based on last year, that we can make up some ground in the snowfall department. Hopefully it doesn't all happen in April this time, and we can get it kind of closer to where we are supposed to get that snow in late January and February. So temperatures right now are in the upper 20s and low 30s across southern Wisconsin. Mostly cloudy skies are keeping us relatively mild once again. Wind speeds have picked up just a little bit, but still better than this afternoon out of the northeast at about 8 to 15 miles per hour, making it feel like 19 in Madison, 23 in Janesville, and 21 in Mineral Point. If you're a fan of the more typical winter weather that Wisconsin often brings, I have good news. By the middle to end of this month, it looks like we have a very good chance of seeing below normal temperatures and also above average precipitation, which would lead one to believe that snowfall becomes a little bit more likely and the pattern is a little bit more conducive to snow by the time we get to the end of January. I'm not telling you anything revolutionary there, but it's something to watch out for. Temps in the 20s tonight, any snow wrapping up, mostly cloudy otherwise, becoming partly sunny and pleasant tomorrow, with highs in the low to mid 30s. So future tracks staying pretty quiet overnight with some clouds here and there, but I do think we'll see some clearing and a little bit of sunshine on Sunday. Monday, some sunshine also possible, but also some clouds with highs in the mid to upper 30s. So a little bit warmer, a little bit milder for Monday and Tuesday, but then those temperatures are a little bit chillier by the time we get to the weekend. We're in the 20s for highs, and then a few chances for snow as we head into kind of the back half of this 10-day forecast. And by the middle to end of this month, I think we'll all remember what classic winter is across southern Wisconsin. At least that's the way the pattern is looking right now. Amanda?
I don't know if I'm excited for it or not, but I'm interested in a change of pace.
Yeah, we should get it over with, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right, thank you, Dave. The women's hockey team not just winning today, but sending a message. Highlights coming up next in sports.
Well, the women's team with a stunner yesterday, losing to Ohio State 1-0, ending their 11-game win streak. So today, gloves off, let's go. 52 seconds into the first period, Britta Curl lights the lamp to put the Badgers up first 1-0. Buckeyes would tie it up a little later, but Wisconsin on the power play towards the end of the first. Sophie Shirley hitting the back of the net, and the Badgers back in the lead. They add onto it in the second on the power play again. Michaela Gardner to Annie Pankowski. Badgers with a big win 5-2 to split the series against the Buckeyes. Wisconsin heads to Minnesota next weekend. The men's team in an exhibition against the national U18 team at the Kohl Center. Team USA up 1-0, but Brock Caulfield and Dominic Mersch on a little 2-on-1 against the goalie. Badgers tied up at 1. In the second period, Wisconsin down again, but Jake Bunce from the circle. It's his first goal in a Badgers uniform, tied up again at 2. But Wisconsin giving up a lot more after that. Badgers lose 6-2. They're back in the Big Ten schedule now, hosting Notre Dame next weekend. Well, definitely a tough weekend for the Badgers basketball team. The team lost to Purdue 84-80 last night in overtime in a game that Brad Davison said they beat themselves. The team really struggling from the free throw line, missing some key points in overtime, while Purdue hit 8 of their 12 in overtime. And the Badgers have really prided themselves on the low number of turnovers all season, averaging 9.1 per game. That's good enough for second best in the country. Well, last night they almost doubled that number with 17 of them, and with a game at Maryland on Monday night, Davison says they've got to figure out their inconsistencies and fast.
When we talk about in the locker room just coming out, we need to find a way to come out with a sense of urgency and to be our own energy from the start. I mean, those are all things that we pride ourselves on with free throws and turnovers. So it's a learning opportunity. It has to be a learning curve. You know, with conference play starting, we got to figure it out and get better from it.
Other Big Ten action today, 16th ranked Ohio State at Iowa. We pick it up in the second. Jordan Bohannon to Ryan Kreiner for the slam dunk. Hawkeyes up by doubles. Later, Buckeyes answer. Dwayne Washington Jr. driving for that one-handed dunk. Ohio State down 6. Luke Garza in trouble going to the other side. Isaiah Moss for 3. And Iowa beats Ohio State by 10, 72-62 the final. Seton Hall at 21st ranked Marquette. Golden Eagles going for their 3rd straight win. Second half close game. Marcus Howard to Theo John. The layup is good, and Marquette takes the lead. Later, Sakar Anam passes to Joey Hauser. He lays it in, the freshman with 5 points in the game. Seton Hall with a chance to take the lead, but Quincy McKnight misses the 3 with 8 seconds left, and Marquette wins 70-66. Golden Eagles are undefeated at Fiserv, and the Bucks actually have only lost 4 games there too, so obviously this new building's serving them well. Their old building, however, will be demolished tomorrow. You can actually catch that live on our website at 9 a.m.
That should be good, and good luck in this new one.
Yeah, things blowing up. People love to see that, right? I don't know.
All right, we'll be right back. Thanks. All right, that snow really at the bottom of Wisconsin.
Yeah, and it's continuing to move out slowly but surely in some spots, but I really don't think we need to worry about it too much more tonight. However, if you are heading south, still across portions of Illinois, we do have some slick roads out there, so tonight keep that in mind. Temperatures are staying in the mid-20s with mostly cloudy skies overnight. For tomorrow, a little bit of sun is possible, if I could talk correctly. Yes, sunnis and also sun is possible tomorrow with temperatures in the low to mid-30s. We're milder on Monday and Tuesday. A few flurries are possible early on Wednesday and some snow showers by Friday, but really not looking at too many chances for snow till we get to the middle of this month, looking colder as well.
Ooh, all right. Thank you so much, Dave, and thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.